What's going on, guys? Welcome to a very special episode of the Followers of the Force podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Ronin, the continuation novel to the Star Wars Vision short, The Duel. It's just going to be me today, as far as I know. So, it's going to be a quick spoiler free review. So, for you guys that haven't read it yet, no worries. You can watch or listen because this episode is going to be on YouTube as well as the podcast feed. So, wherever you listen to the show, you'll be able to listen to it there. Um, so Ronin is, as I said, the continuation to that story from Star Wars Visions. You get a retelling of it in the first like 30 pages of the book, and then from then on, it's what happens after. Uh, I think that Emma Candon, the author of the novel, did such an amazing job with creating this expanding this world and really making Star Wars feel like Star Wars, but with so many uh just with a completely different way of looking at the world itself. And there are so many moments where you're with the characters, both the characters that you saw in the duel, as well as characters that you meet along the way. And there are a lot of quiet moments in this story. And I think the story of the Ronin, the titular character, is super interesting because it's very mysterious, like kind of the same way you see him in that short is the way he is for the majority of the book, but then the layers start to get peeled back of why he's like that, what his past is, um, and you get a pretty good sense of his objective going forward or just trying to figure out what that objective actually is. Um, and the characters that are with him throughout the novel, um, you really grow attached to them because it's almost like each character fulfills a certain role in, an ensemble group, even though there are, a couple more characters in that group, but uh, it's just a really fascinating way of sort of getting him to open up and getting the other characters to understand why he is the way that he is and get him to understand why they are the way that they are. I know I'm being very vague with this, but that's on purpose because this is one of those books that you don't want to get spoiled before you read it. Not because they're like amazing revelations or anything like that, but because the story is so unique and the way it's written is so unique that it almost has to be that kind of experience where you just go into it knowing what you know or completely blind. Because as I said, they retell that story from Visions. Um, and it's super cool to now put a voice with uh, him as well as the Sith that he was fighting, and you get to really understand how that world works. And as you read the book, you start to piece that world together in your own mind and say, okay, this is how I think he would say this, how he would sound, which is always a cool thing to be able to do because for the most part, a lot of the time, either you go based off of the audiobook pronunciations of things or you just create the world in your head. Um, but yeah, this story is one of those that when you pick it up, you don't want to put it down because it's super interesting. Um, as I said, Emma Candon, she makes it feel different, but still feel like Star Wars. Um, and the descriptions of things, the action is amazing. The set pieces are amazing. Um, and there are moments that have little, not twists, but when you understand who certain people are or what exactly is going on, you get that reaction that you would get sitting in a theater, um, and certain moments unfold. So it's of the last few, I'll say in the last year, this is definitely top three for me. Um, again, I mean, if you want a look at the hard copy, which is coming out in just a week, I mean, look at this. I mean, it is a just a gorgeous, gorgeous book. Um, and it's an easy read. I mean, it's just there are many books that you read that you feel like it's a little bit of a chore to get through. Um, and some books are just easier to consume through Audible or, um, you know, I don't know, like for whatever reason, there are just some that are easier. This one, I'm sure you can listen to it either way, but I found that it was super easy to read and easy to remember what was going on. Um, I had absolutely no issues with uh, the length of it, anything of that sort. It was just, it was really refreshing. A lot of the ideas in the book are ideas that I hope make their way into some other Star Wars media from the past, because I hope we continue to go back in time as much as we want to go into the future. So, yeah, if you guys just are on the fence about whether or not you want to get this book, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is honestly one of the best stories from the past year. It is a story that I think could continue, um, because it's just that world and that telling of it. Um, it's just super cool to me, at least. Um, so yeah, the book comes out on October 12th. I know it's available for pre-order on Audible, and it'll be out in print next week. And again, here it is: Star Wars Ronin by Emma Candon. Um, and y'all can follow her on Twitter at Emma Candon. She's super, super sweet. Um, it's always cool to see a book like this get the reception that it's getting, especially when it's part of a larger, um, initiative to branch out and tell stories in a different kind of way. And I think she hit it out of the park. I mean, it is super, super cool. Um, and it has basically everything in it, uh, without giving away anything. Like it makes everybody human, and I think that's one of the coolest things in Star Wars is humanizing certain characters and getting a sense of why they're doing what they're doing. So I hope you guys go out and get the book. Again, it's available next week, and we'll have our spoiler filled review next week, the day of the book's release. So hope you guys pre-order it, buy it, and then tell us what you think, because we absolutely love it. So I know this is a really short episode. Again, spoiler free. If I talk any more, I'm going to spoil the hell out of it. So I'm just going to shut up and let you guys pre-order this and then get it next week. So until then, may the force be with you always.